Today we'll delve into a fascinating legend about ancient technology that connects Tesla with the pyramids.
Nikola Tesla was convinced that his greatest creation, the Wardenclyffe Tower, could harness Earth's vibrations to generate limitless electrical energy. This wasn't just any power system, it would transmit energy through the Earth itself, reaching even the most remote corners of our planet without any wires.
Tesla's early experiments showed remarkable success. He managed to illuminate bulbs near the tower wirelessly. Yet the scientific community dismissed his work as mere fantasy, claiming such technology couldn't possibly exist. However, an intriguing voice emerged from an unexpected corner, suggesting this technology might have existed over 10 millennia ago. The Great Pyramid of Giza, with its perfect Earth proportions, mysteriously altered sarcophagus, peculiar salt deposits, bizarrely shaped passages, and enigmatic doorways. What was it really?
This compelling theory came from Christopher Dunn, a mechanical engineer who devoted his life to studying pyramids. Back in 1984, at just 28 years old, Dunn noticed something remarkable about the Great Pyramid. It seemed to possess perfect Earth proportions. When you multiply the pyramid's height by 43,200, you get Earth's polar radius. Use that same number with the pyramid's perimeter and you get Earth's equatorial circumference.
Now, what makes 43,200 so special? Take a day's 24 hours, multiply it by 60 minutes, then by 60 seconds. 43,200 is exactly half of these daily seconds. In astronomical terms, this represents Earth during the equinoxes, when day and night achieve perfect balance. And that number, 432, it's been significant since humans first discovered music and the Sumerians developed their base 60 timekeeping system. Ancient Egyptians using this ratio in the Great Pyramid's proportions couldn't be mere coincidence. It suggests a direct link to ancient technological knowledge. Speaking of ancient technology, Dunn uncovered more clues in the pyramid's construction details. Just like Pumapunku and Machu Picchu, the pyramid shows evidence of incredibly sophisticated stonework, precision cuts, laser-like marks, and remarkably neat excavation work. Inside we find astoundingly smooth surfaces, precise angles, incredible levelness, and mind-boggling corner joints.
When I entered the king's chamber, my engineer's instinct told me something was off. This level of precision and proportion seemed excessive for a mere tomb.
Archaeologists claim the Great Pyramid was built 4,500 years ago as Pharaoh Khufu's final resting place, with the stone sarcophagus in the king's chamber meant for his body. Yet no pharaoh's remains or mummies were ever found inside. Unlike the lavishly decorated tombs in the Valley of the Kings, 500 kilometers away, this structure's interior focused entirely on technical precision.
By the 1980s, I suspected the pyramid wasn't a tomb at all, but rather a sophisticated machine. I meticulously studied the pyramid's cross-section again and again. The peculiar Queen's Chamber, the acoustic underground passages and chambers, the precisely engineered Grand Gallery, and, at its end, the even more precisely crafted King's Chamber. The sarcophagus there showed such precise rounded corners, it seemed almost impossibly well made. Yet strangely, why were the 5 ceiling layers above the King's Chamber so roughly finished? And why did the sarcophagus appear not broken, but melted and partially vaporized?
Questions multiplied when the Gantenbrink doors were discovered in 1993, featuring structures resembling metal electrodes. Why would ancient builders design the pyramid this way? Could there be functional connections between these various elements?
As I pondered these questions, I discovered another fascinating clue in archaeological records.
Early Western explorers reported finding a thin salt layer on the Queen's chamber walls. This discovery sparked a connection in Dunn's mind. In his book, he wrote about his 1968 attempt to collect samples of this salt for analysis, suspecting it was residue from hot hydrogen reacting with limestone. Unfortunately, he couldn't access the chamber due to ongoing French research. Dunn felt he was close to cracking the code.
Further investigation revealed that someone had already analyzed these salts. Dr. Patrick conducted this research in 1978. The Arizona Geological and Mineral Technology Administration found the samples contained a mixture of calcium carbonate, calcium chloride, and calcium sulfate. This confirms it, I realized. These are exactly the residues you'd expect from hot hydrogen reacting with the Queen's chamber walls. Evidence of an incredibly sophisticated pulse generator.
Everything suddenly clicked in Dunn's mind. The Great Pyramid's operating principle emerged. Think about electronic lighters. They use a small battery that releases high-voltage electricity when pressed, creating an arc that ignites the gas. Ever wondered why that tiny battery seems endless, never running out of charge? That's because it's not a chemical battery like the ones we typically use. Instead, it relies on piezoelectric effect, a quantum mechanical phenomenon on a macro scale. The key component in these lighters is piezoelectric ceramic, which releases atomic energy when compressed, generating enough voltage to create electrical arcs through air.
This technology is common. That's why electronic lighters are so affordable.
And the most abundant natural piezoelectric material, quartz crystal or silicon dioxide.
When biologists and doctors discovered silicon dioxide nanospheres as revolutionary drug delivery vehicles, they were amazed to find the highest concentration not at NASA or CERN, but in the Great Pyramid of Giza.
The granite used in the King's and Queen's chambers contains an unusually high abundance of these nanospheres, as if specially selected or processed for this purpose. Dunn's analysis revealed the pyramid's three-layer construction. The outer layer, now missing, was white limestone plaster, essentially gypsum. While archaeologists suggest this was for aesthetics, reflecting sunlight to make the pyramid more impressive, Dunn saw it as crucial electrical insulation containing the energy generated within. The second layer consists of exposed limestone blocks, softer, lower-quality stone from the nearby Tura quarries forming the pyramid's main structure. The third layer, seen in the Grand Gallery, King's Chamber, Queen's Chamber, and vertical shafts, used massive amounts of granite. This granite proved extraordinary. While typical granite contains about 70% quartz, the pyramid's granite contained 78%, explaining its rich silicon dioxide nanosphere content. Ancient Egyptians went to incredible lengths to obtain this superior material, hauling it 700 kilometers from Aswan quarries. The heaviest blocks weighed 120 tons. Imagine transporting that from New York to Chicago in ancient times. Completing this sophisticated design was the pyramid's capstone, called the Benben stone.
Today's museum replicas show a solid granite piece carved with the eye of Horus, but ancient records suggest the original was pure gold or copper, radiating golden light from its peak against the white limestone backdrop. Piezoelectric.
Dunn theorized that the pyramid generated power starting from its subterranean chambers. Underground water flowing through these cavities created sound waves, acting as a catalyst to tap into Earth's natural frequency, its planetary pulse. These vibrations could be harmonically coupled with the pyramid's own resonance.
The process continued in the Queen's Chamber, essentially a chemical reaction vessel. Its northern passage contained traces of dilute hydrochloric acid, while the southern passage showed evidence of water and hydrogen chloride. Combined, these would generate hydrogen gas and heat. This hot hydrogen would fill the Queen's Chamber and flow upward into the Grand Gallery, creating significant pressure. Just as Tesla once said, 5 pounds of pressure can accomplish anything.
This pressure activated the quartz in the granite, triggering the piezoelectric effect. The resulting voltage would ionize the hydrogen, creating plasma without combustion since oxygen would have been displaced by the rising hydrogen. The Grand Gallery, designed with 27 Helmholtz resonators, amplified these vibrations.
When archaeologists discovered these precisely crafted resonators and accompanying horn-shaped artifacts, they matched the theoretical design perfectly. These resonators, combined with hydrogen plasma, further amplified the oscillations. The Grand Gallery effectively functioned as a resonance amplifier, operating at precisely 432 Hz, coincidentally the same as Apple's original startup sound.
Could Steve Jobs have known something from his time studying with Indian masters? Did he perhaps hear echoes of the pyramid's ancient activation frequency? The passage leading to the king's chamber measures exactly 8.4 by 4.8 inches, dimensions perfectly suited for hydrogen microwave transmission. Here, all oscillations reached their peak.
The sarcophagus wasn't a coffin at all, but an energy concentrator or amplifier. The peculiarly rough ceiling layers above it, so different from the pyramid's otherwise precise construction, served as tuning mechanisms. Like any musical instrument, fine-tuning requires rough adjustments to achieve perfect resonance.
Picture the process. Underground water vibrations acted as input, amplified by hot hydrogen in the Queen's chamber. As hydrogen filled the space and reached the Grand Gallery, it captured Earth's pulses, creating coupled oscillations. The 10-inch piezoelectric effect and 27 Helmholtz resonators work together to amplify these Earth-based vibrations.
The pyramid would power up with its 432 Hz harmonic, building layers of piezoelectric effects until massive energy accumulated within, contained by the limestone insulation. This energy would then beam skyward through the golden Benben stone, returning to Earth to be distributed globally, exactly like Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower concept.
Dunn produced another fascinating detail. The Great Pyramid's location marks the center of Earth's landmass. The discovery of the Gantenbrink doors electrodes in the Queen's chamber during 2 televised robot explorations further supported his theory. They were likely measuring devices indicating chemical reaction levels.
However, critics challenged Dunn's theory, demanding proof that piezoelectric energy could accumulate and transmit as described. Was this just science fiction? 20 years later, in 2019, Dunn presented 2 groundbreaking studies.
First, a 2018 study by Russia's ITMO university team showed the pyramid could resonate with electromagnetic waves and concentrate energy in its chambers, particularly at 200-meter wavelengths. Second, a 2019 AIAA-supported study by Dr. Eric demonstrated how piezoelectric energy moves through granite formations, explaining phenomena like earthquake lights, natural energy emissions from rock structures.
These studies finally answered the critics' challenges, showing how pyramids could accumulate and transmit energy. Clean, unlimited Earth energy could indeed be harnessed and distributed wirelessly worldwide, exactly as Tesla envisioned. This brings us to Tesla's tragic story. In 1897, at 41, Tesla was at his peak, having just lit up Buffalo City with Westinghouse through the world's first major hydroelectric plant at Niagara Falls.
Yet I told Westinghouse I was leaving the AC electricity business. Powering one city with river energy wasn't enough. I dreamed bigger, lighting the whole world with one tower.
After years of successful wireless power transmission experiments, including his invention of the fluorescent light, Tesla began building Wardenclyffe Tower in 1901. Located on Long Island, this tower would transform Earth into a planetary generator.
I called it wireless. Not today's signal-only wireless, but a comprehensive system with 16 applications, all stolen and simplified by Marconi into mere radio transmission.
Though Tesla's documents were sealed after his death, site investigations revealed the tower was built over an aquifer, just like the pyramid, with deep copper rods inserted into the ground, their remnants still visible today. While the exact mechanisms of energy harvesting and atmospheric transmission remain mysterious, Tesla's demonstrations succeeded. Even J.P. Morgan witnessed his wireless light bulb demonstrations, and Long Island residents reported mysterious flashes during tower tests. Both Tesla's tower and the pyramid promised unlimited, clean and unmetered, essentially free electricity for everyone on Earth.
Once Morgan realized unmetered meant unprofitable, he immediately withdrew funding. His empire of copper mines, rubber factories, steel mills, timber companies and coal operations all depended on traditional power infrastructure. He had invested in me to expand his business empire, not to render it obsolete with a tower providing free global energy.
Tesla wrote desperate monthly letters to Morgan, supporting the project with his own funds until the massive construction debts forced him into bankruptcy. Ironically, had he retained his AC electricity patents, instead of giving them up to save Westinghouse and realize his dream of electrifying cities, even a mere 0.01 cent per kilowatt hour would have made him the world's richest man within a year. Instead, he watched creditors demolish his unfinished Wardenclyffe tower and sell it for scrap. The Great Pyramid suffered a similar fate. In 1999, Dunn reported evidence of violent explosions inside scorch marks on the Grand Gallery ceiling, where the 27 resonators should have been, high-energy impact traces on the Queen's chamber ceiling, and a massive crack in the King's Chamber's southeastern ceiling, requiring incredible force to break such massive granite blocks. What caused such destruction? Some blamed earthquakes or asteroid impacts, but these would have left traces around the pyramid. In 2016, researchers examining the Queen's Chamber's shafts found sulfuric acid residue in the southern shaft and traces of ammonium and zinc chloride in the northern one, suggesting possible deliberate sabotage. Dr. S2, media unusual sarcophagus in pyramid, close-up of sarcophagus with discoloration, sarcophagus with chocolate brown tint. The sarcophagus showed an unusual chocolate brown color instead of typical Aswan granite's rose tint, suggesting extreme energy exposure that partially melted one corner. Robert Schoch proposed a more plausible theory in 2018. Based on water erosion patterns on the Sphinx suggesting both structures predated the Sahara Desert, he identified a catastrophic solar event from 11,700 years ago.
His research revealed vitrified rocks from this period across 120 countries, indicating an unprecedented energy release. A massive solar storm had temporarily disrupted Earth's magnetic field, exposing the surface to intense cosmic radiation and generating worldwide lightning strikes thousands of times stronger than anything known today.
This catastrophic event might have triggered the pyramid's destruction and ended the Younger Dryas Ice Age. The sudden melting of ice sheets extending from the poles to modern Turkey caused devastating global floods, possibly leaving the Sphinx's water erosion marks. Perhaps the ancient Egyptians, rediscovering these structures thousands of years later, understood only fragments of their true purpose and repurposed them as sacred sites. Today, we stand at a crossroads. Tesla, who claimed he could visualize complete machines in his mind and see beyond conventional theory, gave us wireless technology, X-rays, AC power, radio, radar, remote control, and countless other innovations. An estimated 80% of modern technology traces back to his work. Could his Wardenclyffe tower have really functioned on the same principles as the ancient pyramid power plant? Various theories exist beyond Dunn's analysis. Siphon power generation, planetary energy theories, and their implications for civilizational advancement. We missed our chance with Tesla, and perhaps with an advanced ancient civilization as well. Some say humanity doesn't deserve Tesla's vision. Our greed couldn't accommodate his generosity. Imagine a world with unlimited free energy. How many conflicts could we avoid? Yet oil, energy monopolies, greed and hatred remain cornerstones of our society. Tesla's legacy vanished after his death. In 1952, 9 years after he died, his nephew Sava Kosanovich inherited his effects, but found only 60 of the 80 boxes listed in the FBI inventory. These missing boxes reportedly contained Tesla's most advanced theories, including the Wardenclyffe tower plans. Today, we can view the contents of those 60 boxes at the Tesla Museum in Belgrade, Serbia. Reminders of what we've lost. But if Schoch and Dunn are right about an ancient civilization achieving Tesla's dreams through stone and quartz, perhaps we'll one day break free from our limitations. Maybe a new Tesla will emerge, leading us with compassion and technology back toward that advanced civilization we once barely missed. And that concludes our story for today.